The Starweaver cut through the inky blackness of space, its sleek hull gleaming under the light of distant stars. Inside the ship's bridge, Captain Zara Vex stood with her arms crossed, her iridescent scales shimmering as she gazed out at the vastness before her. The Andronian's large, multifaceted eyes reflected the holographic star chart hovering in the air. "Any sign of the station, Krell?" she asked, her voice a melodious trill. The ship's pilot, a Valari with 6 tentacle-like appendages, manipulated the controls with practiced ease. "Nothing yet, Captain," Krell replied, his bioluminescent spots pulsing with each word. "But we're approaching the coordinates." Zara nodded, her antennae twitching slightly. "Mira, what do the ancient texts say about this place?" The ship's historian, a diminutive cerebral with an oversized head housing an impressive brain, floated over in her anti-gravity chair. "The legends speak of a great weapon left behind by a species called humans," Mira said, her voice a soft whisper. "They were said to be the guardians of the galaxy, maintaining peace for eons before vanishing without a trace. And now we need their help more than ever," Zara mused, thinking of the war that raged across the galaxy. The Void Collective, a group of aggressive species bent on domination, had pushed the allied worlds to the brink of collapse. This mission was their last hope. A series of chirps and whistles interrupted her thoughts. The ship's engineer, a tree-like arboran named Gron, lumbered onto the bridge, leaves rustling with excitement. "Captain, I've detected an energy signature ahead. It's faint, but it matches the frequency mentioned in the ancient records." Zara's eyes widened. On screen, now, the holographic display flickered, revealing a massive space station floating in the distance. Its design was unlike anything they had ever seen. Smooth, curved lines blended seamlessly with sharp angles, creating a structure that seemed to defy the laws of physics. "By the cosmic winds," Krell whispered in awe. "It's real." "Take us in closer," Zara ordered, her heart racing with a mixture of excitement and apprehension. "Scan for any signs of life or active systems." As the Starweaver approached the station, the crew fell into a tense silence. The station loomed larger in their view, its surface pockmarked with impact craters and scorched by untold years of exposure to the harsh void of space. "No life signs detected," Mira reported, her delicate fingers dancing over her console. "But there's a residual energy signature emanating from the central hub. It's pulsing, almost like a heartbeat." Zara's antennae quivered with anticipation. "Prepare a boarding party. Krell, find us a docking port. Grun, make sure our equipment can interface with their technology. Mira, you're with me. We'll need your expertise to decipher any clues we find." As the crew bustled about, preparing for their expedition, Zara retreated to her quarters. She activated a small holographic projector, and the image of a stern-looking Andromian appeared. "Admiral," Zara said, saluting, "we found it." The Admiral's expression remained impassive, but Zara could detect a hint of hope in his voice. "Excellent work, Captain. Remember, the fate of the Allied worlds rests on your success. Find the weapon and bring it back at all costs." "Understood, sir," Zara replied. As the transmission ended, she allowed herself a moment of doubt. What if the legends were wrong? What if this human weapon was nothing more than a myth? She shook off the thought. They had come too far to turn back now. Zara rejoined her crew at the airlock. They had successfully docked with the station, the Starweaver's adaptive seals forming a perfect connection with the ancient structure. "Remember," Zora cautioned as they prepared to board, "we don't know what we'll find in there. Stay alert and stick together." With a hiss of equalizing pressure, the airlock opened, revealing the dark, cavernous hallway beyond. The boarding party activated their suit lights, illuminating a scene frozen in time. Strange symbols adorned the walls, and unfamiliar technology lined the corridors. "Fascinating," Mira whispered, her eyes wide as she scanned the surroundings. The architecture, the writing. It's unlike anything in our records. These humans must have been incredibly advanced. Gron's branches creaked as he examined a nearby control panel. The technology is dormant, but I'm detecting trace amounts of power. With some work, I might be able to restore basic systems. Do it, Zara ordered. Mira, see if you can decipher any of these symbols. Krell, you're with me. Let's explore further. As they ventured deeper into the station, Zara couldn't shake the feeling that they were being watched. The shadows seemed to shift and move just beyond the reach of their lights, and strange echoes reverberated through the empty halls. They'd reached a vast, circular chamber, dominated by a massive holographic projector in its center. Zara approached it cautiously, her hand hovering over the alien controls. "Should I try to activate it, Captain?" Krell asked, his tentacles twitching nervously. Zara hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Do it. We need answers." As Krell's appendages danced over the console, the room suddenly came to life. Lights flickered on, and the holographic projector hummed with power. A shimmering image appeared above them, a three-dimensional map of the galaxy, with countless points of light pulsing in rhythmic patterns. "It's beautiful," Zara breathed, her eyes tracking the movement of stars and planets. Suddenly, a booming voice echoed through the chamber, causing the team to jump in surprise. "Unidentified life forms detected. State your purpose or face immediate termination." Zara stepped forward, her voice steady despite her racing heart. "We are representatives of the Allied worlds, seeking the weapon known as human to save our people from destruction." There was a long pause, and for a moment, Zara feared they had made a grave mistake. Then the voice spoke again, softer this time. "Processing. Query accepted. Initiating primary protocol. Evaluation of potential successors." The holographic map vanished, replaced by a series of complex equations and diagrams. "To prove your worth," the voice continued, "you must pass a series of trials. Only then will the true nature of human be revealed." As the implications of those words sank in, Zara exchanged glances with her crew. They had come seeking a weapon, but it seemed their quest had only just begun. Whatever these trials entailed, they would face them together, for the sake of their people and for the legacy of the mysterious humans who had once called this place home. Little did they know, their actions had set in motion events that would reshape the very fabric of the galaxy and awaken a power long thought lost to the ages. The alien voice echoed through the chamber once more, its tone shifting from authoritative to almost curious. "Initiating first trial. Prepare yourselves." Before the crew could react, the floor beneath them shimmered and dissolved, plunging them into a swirling vortex of light and sound. Zara felt her body stretch and compress, as if being pulled through the fabric of space itself. Just as suddenly as it began, the sensation stopped, and they found themselves in a new environment. They stood in what appeared to be a lush, earth-like forest. Towering trees with iridescent leaves stretched towards a purple sky, while strange, bioluminescent creatures scurried through the underbrush. The air was thick with unfamiliar scents and sounds. "Is everyone all right?" Zara called out, her antennae twitching as she tried to make sense of their new surroundings. Krell's tentacles writhed in agitation. "What just happened? Where are we?" Mira's oversized eyes darted around, taking in every detail. "Fascinating. It appears to be some kind of advanced holographic simulation. The detail is incredible. I can even feel the breeze on my skin." Gron's leaves rustled nervously. "But why bring us here? What's the purpose of this trial?" As if in answer, the disembodied voice spoke again. "To understand the essence of human, you must first understand their world. Your task is simple: survive." With that ominous proclamation, the forest around them came alive. The ground trembled, and the trees began to shift and move, their branches reaching out like grasping fingers. Strange, predatory cries echoed through the air. "Stay together," Zora shouted, drawing her energy pistol. "Gron, can you communicate with these plant-like entities?" The Arboran closed his eyes, concentrating. I can sense them, but they're unlike any life forms I've encountered. They're not fully organic. There's technology interwoven with their very essence. As they moved through the ever-changing landscape, facing challenges that tested their physical and mental limits, Zara began to understand. This wasn't just a test of survival. It was a lesson in adaptation, in thinking beyond conventional boundaries. Hours seemed to pass as they navigated treacherous terrain, solved complex environmental puzzles, and worked together to overcome obstacles that no single species could manage alone. Through it all, Zora marveled at how each member of her diverse crew brought unique strengths to their collective effort. Finally, exhausted but triumphant, they reached a clearing where a shimmering portal awaited. As they stepped through, they found themselves back in the station's central chamber. First trial complete, the AI announced. Resilience and adaptability confirmed. Proceeding to second trial. Knowledge and understanding. The holographic projector sprang to life once more, this time displaying a dizzying array of scientific formulae, historical events, and philosophical concepts. To wield the power of human, the voice explained, one must comprehend the depths of their knowledge and the breadth of their imagination. Mira's eyes lit up with excitement. This is incredible. The scientific principles alone are centuries beyond our current understanding. For what felt like days, the crew immersed themselves in the vast repository of human knowledge. They learned of great triumphs and terrible mistakes, of boundless creativity and relentless curiosity. They grappled with moral dilemmas that challenged their deepest held beliefs and expanded their understanding of the universe. As the final pieces of information fell into place, Zara felt as if her mind had been expanded beyond its previous limits. She looked at her crew and saw the same sense of awe and transformation reflected in their faces. Second trial complete, the AI declared. Intellectual capacity and moral reasoning confirmed. Initiating final trial. The awakening. The chamber trembled, and hidden panels slid open to reveal a massive dormant figure. It was humanoid in shape, but clearly artificial, a towering construct of gleaming metal and pulsing energy conduits. Behold, the AI's voice resonated with a new depth of emotion, the Guardian. I am but a fraction of its consciousness, left behind to find those worthy of awakening the true power of humanity. Zara stepped forward, her voice filled with wonder and trepidation. You mean, you're not the human weapon we've been seeking? No, the AI replied. I am merely the keeper of the legacy. The true power lies dormant within the Guardian, a fusion of organic and synthetic, the pinnacle of human achievement. But to awaken it requires a price. The crew exchanged nervous glances. Krell's tentacles twisted anxiously. What kind of price? A sacrifice of self, the AI explained. One among you must be willing to merge with the Guardian, to become the vessel for humanity's legacy. In doing so, you will gain power beyond imagination, but you will cease to exist as you are now. A heavy silence fell over the group. The implications of this revelation were staggering. They had come seeking a weapon, but instead found something far more complex and profound. Zara's mind raced. The fate of the allied worlds hung in the balance, but could she ask one of her crew to make such a monumental sacrifice? And if she volunteered herself, would she still be the same person after merging with this ancient consciousness? Before she could voice her thoughts, a loud alarm blared through the station. The AI's voice took on an urgent tone. Warning. Hostile forces detected entering the system. The Void Collective has found us. Panic gripped the crew. They were trapped on an ancient station with no way to defend themselves against an entire invasion fleet. We're out of time, Zara realized, her heart pounding. We need to make a decision now. Do we awaken the Guardian and accept whatever consequences come with it, or do we try to flee? As the first tremors of weapon impacts shook the station, Zara knew that their next choice would determine not only their own fate, but that of countless worlds across the galaxy. The true test of their worthiness had only just begun. The station shuddered under the assault of the Void Collective's weapons. Zora's mind raced, weighing their limited options against the monumental decision before them. "We can't just abandon everything we've learned," Mira argued, her large eyes filled with determination. "The knowledge contained here could revolutionize our understanding of the universe." Gron's branches creaked as he shifted nervously. "But at what cost? We don't fully understand what merging with this guardian would mean." Another explosion rocked the station, and Krell's tentacles flailed in agitation. "We're out of time for debate. We need to do something now." Zara took a deep breath, steadying herself. "We came here to find a way to save our people. We can't turn back now." She turned to face the dormant guardian. "I'll do it. I'll merge with the guardian." "Captain?" "No." Her crew protested in unison, but Zara held up a hand to silence them. "This is my choice," she said firmly. "If there's even a chance this can turn the tide against the Void Collective, I have to take it." The AI's voice resonated through the chamber. "Your willingness to sacrifice is noted, but the choice is not yours alone to make. The Guardian must also accept you." Before Zara could respond, a blinding light erupted from the Guardian's form. Energy tendrils snaked out, enveloping each member of the crew. Zara felt a strange tingling sensation coursing through her body, as if every cell was being examined and evaluated. Suddenly, the light concentrated on Krell, lifting the Volari into the air. "Genetic compatibility detected," the AI announced. "Remnants of human DNA found within Volari physiology, initiating merger process." "What?" "No," Zora cried out, reaching for her friend, but an invisible barrier held her back. Krell's body began to transform, his tentacles reshaping into arms and legs, his exoskeleton softening and changing color. The process looked painful, but Krell made no sound. His eyes, usually so expressive, were closed in deep concentration. As the transformation neared completion, the Guardian's metallic shell began to crack and peel away, revealing a swirling vortex of energy within. Krell's new humanoid form was drawn into the vortex, merging with the ancient consciousness. For a moment, everything was still. Then, with a thunderous roar, the Guardian came to life. Its eyes blazed with an inert fire, and when it spoke, it was with a voice that carried echoes of Krell's familiar tones, mixed with something older and infinitely more powerful. "We are awakened," the Guardian announced. "The legacy of humanity lives on." Zara and the others stared in awe at the transformed being before them. It was Krell, and yet not Krell, a perfect fusion of their friend and the ancient power they had sought. "The Void Collective approaches," the Guardian said, its voice resonating with newfound authority. "We must prepare for battle. But first, you must all embrace your own inner strength, the spark of humanity that lies dormant within all sentient beings." With a gesture, the Guardian created a shimmering portal. "Enter and face the final trial. Confront your deepest fears and unlock your true potential. Only then will we stand a chance against the darkness that threatens to engulf the galaxy." Zara exchanged glances with Mira and Gron. They had come so far, lost so much. Could they risk everything on one final gamble? But as another explosion rocked the station, Zara realized they had no choice. With a nod to her remaining crew, she stepped into the portal, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them on the other side. The world shifted and blurred around them, and suddenly they found themselves in vastly different environments, each tailored to their individual psyches. Zara found herself on a barren, windswept plain, facing a mirror image of herself. But this doppelganger radiated confidence and power beyond anything Zara had ever felt. "You doubt yourself," her reflection spoke, its voice carrying on the wind. "You fear the weight of command, the responsibility of the lives that depend on you. But true leadership comes from within. Embrace your strength, your compassion, your unwavering resolve." As Zara grappled with her inner demons, facing down her fears and insecurities, she felt something awaken within her, a wellspring of untapped potential, a connection to something greater than herself. Meanwhile, Mira found herself in a vast library that seemed to stretch into infinity. Books and data streams swirled around her, threatening to overwhelm her prodigious mind. Knowledge is power, a voice whispered from the shadows, but wisdom is knowing how to use it. You've spent your life accumulating facts, but have you truly understood their meaning? Gron stood in a withered forest, the trees around him twisted and dying. His own branches felt brittle, his leaves dry and lifeless. Life finds a way. The wind seemed to whisper through the decaying leaves. Even in the harshest conditions, in the face of insurmountable odds, the spark of life persists. Find that spark within yourself, nurture it, and watch it grow into an inferno. As each member of the crew faced their personal trials, they felt themselves changing, evolving. It wasn't a physical transformation like Krell had undergone, but something deeper, more fundamental. When they emerged from the portal, they were changed. Zara stood taller, her eyes blazing with inner fire. Mira's mind felt expanded, able to process information and see connections she never imagined before. Gron's form pulsed with vibrant energy, his connection to the living world around him stronger than ever. The Guardian, still bearing traces of Krell's features, nodded in approval. You have passed the final trial. You have awakened the dormant potential within yourselves, the legacy of humanity that lives on in all sentient beings. Another violent tremor shook the station, and alarms blared with renewed urgency. The Void Collective has breached our outer defenses, the Guardian announced. The time has come to make our stand. Are you ready to face the darkness and fight for the future of the galaxy? Zara looked at her transformed crew, feeling the power thrumming through her veins and the unbreakable bond that now connected them all. She turned to the Guardian, her voice ringing with determination. We're ready. Let's show the Void Collective what humanity's legacy is truly capable of. As they prepared to face the coming storm, Zara realized that their quest had led them to something far greater than a simple weapon. They had unlocked the true power of humanity, the indomitable spirit that could unite diverse beings and overcome any obstacle. The final battle for the fate of the galaxy was about to begin, and thanks to the trials they had faced and the strength they had found within themselves, Zara knew they stood a fighting chance. As the Void Collective's forces breached the station's outer defenses, Zara and her transformed crew raced to the command center, led by the Guardian. The once dormant station hummed with renewed energy, ancient systems coming online as if awakening from a long slumber. We need to buy ourselves some time, Zara said, her mind racing with newfound tactical insight. Guardian, what defenses does this station have? The Guardian, its form still a mesmerizing blend of Krell and the ancient consciousness, interfaced directly with the station's systems. The station possesses formidable defensive capabilities, but many systems are degraded after millennia of disuse. We must reactivate them manually. Holographic displays flickered to life around them, showing schematics of the massive space station. Red warning lights blinked at various points, indicating damage or offline systems. Gron, Zora commanded, take engineering. Your connection to living systems might help you interface with the station's biomural circuitry. Mira, head to the sensor array. We need your expanded mind to process the incoming data and coordinate our defenses. As her crew members rushed to their assigned posts, Zara felt a surge of pride. Despite the dire circumstances, they moved with purpose and confidence, their recent trials having unlocked hidden potential within each of them. The Guardian's voice resonated through the command center. Captain, there is one more system we must activate, one that may turn the tide of this battle. But to do so, we must awaken its keeper. A hidden door slid open in the back of the room, revealing a long, dark corridor. At the heart of this station lies a stasis chamber, the Guardian explained. Inside sleeps the last living human, the final guardian of their legacy. Only they can fully unlock the station's true power. Zara's antennae twitched with surprise. A living human. After all this time. Indeed, the Guardian nodded. They chose to enter stasis, waiting for the day when their knowledge and skills would be needed most. That day has come. Another impact rocked the station, and alarms blared with increased urgency. "We're out of time," Zara decided. "Guardian, stay here and coordinate our defenses. I'll go wake our sleeping ally." As Zara raced down the corridor, she marveled at how much had changed in such a short time. The trials they had faced had awakened something within her, a sense of connection to the very heritage they had sought to understand. With each step, she felt as if she were running not just towards humanity's past, but towards the future of all sentient life in the galaxy. The corridor opened into a vast, circular chamber. In its center stood a single stasis pod, its surface covered in a thin layer of frost. Zara approached cautiously, her heart pounding with a mixture of excitement and trepidation. As she neared the pod, sensors sprang to life, scanning her transformed biology. With a soft hiss, the pod began to open, cold mist spilling out onto the floor. Zara held her breath as a figure stirred within. Slowly, gracefully, a human emerged from the pod. She, for the being before Zara was distinctly female, stretched languidly, as if awakening from a mere nap rather than millennia of slumber. Her skin was a rich brown, her hair a cascade of tight curls. When she opened her eyes, Zara gasped at their depth and intensity. "Well," the human said, her voice slightly raspy from disuse, "it seems the galaxy is in trouble again." She smiled warmly at Zara. "I'm Dr. Amara Chen, last of the Human Defense Initiative. And you, my dear, are a sight for very sore eyes." Zara found herself momentarily speechless, overwhelmed by the presence of this living legend. But another tremor shook the station, snapping her back to the present crisis. "Dr. Chen," Zara said, quickly composing herself, "I'm Captain Zora Vex of the Allied Worlds. We've awakened the Guardian, but the station is under attack by a force known as the Void Collective. We need your help to activate the station's full defenses." Amara's eyes narrowed, a fierce determination replacing her earlier warmth. "The Void Collective. It seems some threats never truly die." "Very well, Captain. Let's remind the galaxy why humanity was once both feared and revered." As they rushed back to the command center, Amara brought Zara up to speed. This station, Bastion, was humanity's final gift to the galaxy, a repository of our knowledge, our technology, and our fighting spirit. But we knew that power unchecked could be dangerous, so we laid trials to ensure only the worthy could access its full potential. They entered the command center, where the Guardian and the rest of Zora's crew were coordinating the station's defenses. Amara took in the scene with a mixture of sadness and pride. "Ah, I see the Guardian has chosen a new form," she mused. "And you've all been touched by humanity's legacy." Her gaze settled on each of them in turn, seeing the changes wrought by their trials. Another impact rocked the station, and the tactical display showed the Void Collective's forces pressing their advantage. "Enough reminiscing," Amara said, her voice taking on a commanding tone that belied her physically youthful appearance. "It's time to show these upstarts what humanity's legacy is truly capable of." She strode to a central console, her fingers dancing over the controls with practiced ease. The station hummed with renewed energy as dormant systems roared to life. "Quantum shields online," Amara announced. "Activating chrono-displacement arrays and gravitational lensing weapons." Zara and her crew watched in awe as the tide of battle began to turn. The Void Collective's ships found their weapons harmlessly absorbed by the quantum shields. Chrono-displacement arrays caused enemy vessels to phase in and out of normal spacetime, disrupting their formation, and the gravitational lensing weapons bent the very fabric of space, crushing entire squadrons of ships. But the Void Collective was relentless, pressing their attack with wave after wave of ships. "They're adapting to our defenses," Mira called out from her station. "We need something more." Amara's eyes blazed with an inner fire. "Then it's time to show them the true power of Bastion. Guardian, initiate the Nexus Protocol." The Guardian nodded solemnly. "Understood. All crew members, prepare yourselves. What you're about to experience may be disorienting. As the Nexus protocol activated, Zara felt her consciousness expand. Suddenly, she wasn't just connected to her crew. She was connected to the station itself, to the Guardian, to Amara, and to something far greater. In that moment, she understood the true legacy of humanity. The power to unite, to transcend individual limitations, and to face impossible odds with unwavering determination. Together, as one unified consciousness, they brought the full might of Bastion to bear against the Void Collective. The battle that followed would be spoken of in whispered awe for generations to come. But even as they fought, Zara realized that this was more than just a battle for survival. It was a battle for the very soul of the galaxy, a test to see if the diverse species of the allied worlds could embrace humanity's legacy and forge a future brighter than anything that had come before. As the final act of this cosmic drama unfolded, Zara knew that whatever the outcome, the galaxy would never be the same again. The Nexus Protocol transformed the battle into something beyond conventional warfare. Zara, her crew, Amara, and the Guardian became a singular, transcendent entity, their minds merged with Bastion itself. Through this unprecedented union, they wielded the station's weapons with perfect synchronicity, anticipating the Void Collective's moves before they happened. Streams of quantum-entangled particles lashed out at enemy ships, causing them to blink out of existence. Temporal rifts opened and closed, swallowing entire squadrons and depositing them light years away. The very fabric of space-time rippled and distorted around Bastion, creating an ever-shifting, impenetrable defense. Yet the Void Collective fought on, their hive mind adapting to each new tactic with terrifying speed. For every ship destroyed, 2 more seemed to take its place. The battle raged across multiple dimensions, with both sides pushing the boundaries of known physics. Within the shared consciousness, Zara sensed Amara's growing concern. "They're more resilient than I expected," the last human's thoughts echoed through their collective mind. "We need to end this quickly, or we risk tearing apart the local space-time continuum." Grand's consciousness pulsed with an idea. What if we could use that to our advantage? Turn their own aggression against them. Mira's expanded intellect quickly grasped the concept. A cascading dimensional collapse. Brilliant, but incredibly risky. Explain, Zara thought, her tactical mind already considering the possibilities. Through their shared connection, the plan unfolded. They would intentionally destabilize the space around Bastion, creating a localized dimensional rift. As the Void Collective pressed their attack, they would be drawn into the collapsing pocket of space-time. The gambit could destroy both sides, but it was their best chance at victory. "It's our only option." Amara's thoughts resonated with grim determination. Humanity's legacy was never about raw power. It was about making the hard choices, about sacrificing everything to protect those who cannot protect themselves. With their decision made, the unified consciousness of Bastion went to work. They pushed the station's systems beyond their limits, pouring every ounce of energy into creating the dimensional rift. Space itself seemed to scream as reality tore open around them. The Void Collective, sensing victory within their grasp, surged forward, directly into the trap. As enemy ships were drawn into the collapsing dimension, Zara felt a moment of triumph. But that feeling quickly turned to horror as she realized Bastion itself was being pulled in as well. "We miscalculated." Mira's thoughts rang out in panic. "The rift is too strong. We can't escape its pull." For a moment, despair threatened to overwhelm their shared consciousness. They had won the battle but doomed themselves in the process. As Bastion edged closer to the swirling vortex of the rift, time seemed to slow. Then, cutting through the chaos, came Amara's voice, not just in their minds, but echoing through Bastion's halls. "No," she said, her tone filled with unwavering resolve. "This is not how humanity's story ends. This is not how your story ends." With a supreme effort of will, Amara began to separate herself from the collective consciousness. I'm going to overload the stasis pod's temporal field, she explained, her voice strained with effort. It should create a bubble of stable space-time around Bastion, allowing you to escape. But you'll be trapped in the collapsing dimension. Zara protested, feeling the anguish of her entire crew. Amara's consciousness pulsed with warmth and pride. This was always my purpose, to ensure that humanity's legacy lived on through those worthy to carry it. You've proven yourselves more than worthy. Before anyone could object further, Amara severed her connection. The unified consciousness fragmented, each member of the crew snapping back to their individual bodies. On the main view screen, they watched as Amara sprinted towards the stasis chamber. Moments later, a blinding flash of light erupted from the heart of the station. The pull of the dimensional rift suddenly lessened, and Bastion began to move away from the swirling vortex. She did it, Mira whispered, tears streaming down her face. We're clear of the rift's event horizon. As they watched, the dimensional collapse reached its crescendo. The entire Void Collective fleet, along with a significant portion of nearby space, imploded in a spectacular burst of energy. When the light faded, nothing remained but empty, calm space. For a long moment, silence reigned on Bastion's bridge. The enormity of what had just transpired, the battle, their transformation, Amara's sacrifice, weighed heavily on them all. Finally, the Guardian spoke, its voice carrying echoes of both Krell and the ancient AI. The threat has been neutralized, but at great cost. Dr. Chen's sacrifice has ensured that humanity's legacy will live on through us. Zara looked around at her crew, at Mira's tear-stained face, Gron's gently swaying branches, and the Guardian's solemn expression. They had all been changed by this experience, bonded in ways that transcended normal understanding. What do we do now? Gron asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Zara straightened, feeling the weight of command settle onto her shoulders once more. But it felt different now, not a burden, but a responsibility she was finally ready to bear. We honor Amara's sacrifice, Zara said, her voice steady and clear. We take the knowledge and power of Bastion and use it as she intended, not as a weapon, but as a tool to bring peace and understanding to the galaxy. She turned to face her crew, seeing the same determination reflected in their eyes. The Void Collective is defeated, but there will always be new challenges, new threats to face. Humanity's true legacy isn't about superior firepower or advanced technology. It's about resilience, adaptability, and the strength that comes from unity and diversity. The Guardian nodded approvingly. You understand well, Captain. Bastion was never meant to be a fortress of war, but a beacon of hope, a place where the best aspects of all species could come together and flourish. As if in response to their words, the station hummed with renewed energy. Dormant systems came online, and the main view screen filled with a galactic map showing countless points of light, other hidden outposts of human technology and knowledge, waiting to be rediscovered. We have a lot of work ahead of us, Zara said, a small smile playing on her lips. The allied worlds will need to be rebuilt, new alliances forged, and we have a galaxy full of human legacy sites to explore and protect. She looked at each member of her crew in turn. Beings from different worlds, different species, now united by a shared experience and a common purpose. Are you with me? She asked, already knowing the answer. Their response was unanimous and immediate. Together, they would carry humanity's legacy forward, facing whatever challenges the universe had in store with courage, compassion, and an unbreakable bond forged in the crucible of their incredible journey. As Bastion began its journey back to Allied space, Zara felt a sense of both ending and beginning. They had set out to find a weapon and instead discovered something far more powerful, the true strength that comes from unity, diversity, and the indomitable spirit of life itself. The legacy of humanity lived on, not in a single race or a powerful weapon, but in the hearts and minds of all those who dared to dream of a better future. And with that legacy as their guide, Zura knew that no challenge would be insurmountable, no darkness too deep to overcome. The next chapter in the galaxy's story was just beginning, and they would write it together.